everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for this past week's Fizz and Flow. I'm so excited to be moving with you week after week, and what a pleasure it is to get together online as a community, despite the fact that we cannot be here together. So today we're doing an extended flow that's all about deep stretching. So it's going to be a little bit slower than we've done in the past. I generally like a really movement-based vinyasa, and there's still going to be plenty of flow. But I want you to really focus with me on hips and shoulders, so we can really work and open these posture muscles that I know for me have been a little bit dormant as I sit on my couch most of the day. So we are going to focus on hips and shoulders, really deep stretching. So there's going to be a few holds, and I invite you to really welcome your breath and your stillness in between the flows. Jasper's here with us today. I think he's going to do great. If he starts joining with us, he'll have to go elsewhere, but I think it's going to be okay. He loves to practice with us. He's jealous he can't do it at Fizz and Flow. He gets too excited. All right, we're going to start in Child's Pose on the ground, and you can choose to have knees together or knees apart. So if knees are together, you want to think about sitting on your heels and then stretching belly and arms over. If you're going to go for a wide knee stretch, same thing, hips drawn to heels. You can really just start to extend the arms and relax the forehead down. If it's a little bit too far to reach the head, you're always welcome to take the arms underneath the forehead like a pillow, or change this pose in any way that you feel you need for your body. We're going to take a moment to ourselves to just settle, maybe play with a variation or two in this pose. Deciding arms stretched, knees in, knees out, and just begin to breathe. Gently beginning to lengthen the breath, allowing for deeper inhales and deeper exhales. Noticing the weight of your body pressed downward. Noticing any spots in the body that there's holds or tension. Maybe where the body doesn't want to give its weight away to gravity. Maybe it's in tense hips or tense shoulders or even a stiff neck. Just notice where the body is clenching or holding. No judgment, no self-criticism, just noticing. With every exhale, the body gets a little heavier. With every inhale, we gain a little more focus into where we're at today. Focusing on the person we are at this moment, unconcerned with tomorrow or yesterday. We might come to an intention really rooted in today's version of you. Confident in where we are in our journey, or becoming confident in where we are in our journey. Working to become settled in this stage, in this place. We're going to start working into our Eje Pranayama breath work. It's deep inhales through the nose and long, strong exhales through the mouth. When you exhale, there's a little constriction in the back of the throat. So imagine that there's a mirror just under your mouth. You're going to try to fog it up with every exhale. We'll go ahead and begin by just sighing all the air out of the lungs. Sealing the lips, we'll inhale through the nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, long and slow, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long, strong exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Long inhale, 5. Filling the belly, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth, feeling the body sink in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue that next inhale. Feel the belly expand, even the waistline expand, or the ribs in the low back. Exhale, feel everything just melt downward. Whole spine relaxing a little closer to the mat. And continue that breath work at your own pace, nice and slow though. We're going to start to walk our hands to the right side of our mat. Maybe reaching the left hand on top of the right. And really drawing the left shoulder down, left hip back. Stretching the left side of our body. Creating the side bend here. Beginning to move back center, repositioning the head on the mat, taking a breath here. And then moving to the left, nice and easy. So as we reach our hands towards the left, the right hand might come over the left, just to encourage that reach and side bend. We're going to keep the right shoulder back, right hip down. Beginning to take arms back center, adjusting the head. We'll gently come into a nice low tabletop. So knees come in if they've been splayed out. And if we can look at our femurs, they're totally vertical. So those knees might come in a little bit more than you expect, but they certainly aren't going to touch. We're going to work through our shoulder mobility here. We're going to gently gaze forward and see how long we can get the neck. How lifted we can be in the upper back. Almost like the shoulders are pressing down and the middle spine wants to reach up towards the ceiling, and maybe just a gentle gaze forward. On a deep inhale, hold this. Exhale, then go ahead and gaze at the knees as you lower the chest. Feeling the middle spine between the shoulder blades sink down while the shoulders stay lifted. So it's all about mobility in the chest. Take an inhale, push the shoulders down, maybe gaze forward. Exhale, totally relax the neck and drop the rib cage down between the shoulders. Inhale, rib cage rises. Exhale, rib cage relaxes down and drops. One more time, inhale, little lift. Exhale, soften into the drop. Coming into a full tabletop that feels an awful lot like a gentle cat and cow. So let's take full cat and cow here. Fingers spread wide, ears between, away from the shoulders. Gently gazing between the thumbs. Take a deep inhale, belly drop, tailbone up, gaze forward. Exhale, pull the belly up into the spine, drop the tailbone in the head. Inhale, belly drops. Exhale, belly pulls up and in. Let's access our Ujjayi breath here. Deep inhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take your own pace, but keep it slow, true to the length of breath that you know you can access. Really give the body permission to match it and move just as slowly. Begin to gently move the hands out slightly for a knees down plank. Gently move the shoulders over the wrists and feel the pelvis come in line with shoulders and knees. Careful not to sink into the lower back, but there's still a gentle lift in the low belly. Let's take a deep inhale here. Feel the shoulder blades far apart, neck long. Exhale, we're going to slowly lower the chest down through chaturanga, elbows point back, feeling the shoulder blades retract back slowly and with control. Inhale, cobra. Gently lift the chest. Press the pelvis, thighs, and feet down. Exhale, child's pose. We're going to flow it through. Inhale, knees down, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, child's pose. Keep the knees down or choose to lift them as we inhale through plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, child's pose. Last time. Inhale for plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lay down. Hands move out to a goalpost. Gently place the left side of the face on the mat and bend the right knee. We're going to start to roll onto the left hip to point the right toes at the left elbow. So right now, through the obliques, we're twisting the hips open, but we're trying to keep the elbows down. My right shoulder always pops up with this, but it's up to you if you want to keep the chest flat on the ground, or begin to rotate the rib cage slightly as well. And then you're going to get a big shoulder stretch. So this is equally a hip and shoulder stretch, depending on how you choose to twist here with your anatomy. Once again, chest can be down or rotated, but both elbows are going to stay into the ground. Taking deep breaths here. Every inhale, just trying to strengthen and focus. Every exhale, just letting the knee lift with a heavy foot. Really twist the body. Very slowly beginning to unwind. Bring the hands underneath you and gently begin to take the right hand underneath the left. We're going to roll onto the right hip, bending the left knee, and then opening up the left hand. If you have furniture in the way like me, you might just goalpost the arms. But now we're taking a twist here. Once again, right leg straight, left leg bent, arms outstretched or bent in any way that's comfortable. The heart to the ceiling, really focus on dropping the shoulders down. Big breaths here. Let gravity do the work. Beginning to release, gently draw the hands in as you roll onto the belly once again. Hands under shoulders. Straighten out the body on the mat again and press back into your child's pose. Big exhale when you're ready. Take a moment to pause, soften the low back, to come back in line. Let's take that low flow 3 more times. Deep inhale for plank, your choice of knees down or up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Really pull the chest up and shoulders down. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale for plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, child's pose. Last time, inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And pause. Go ahead and move the right side of the face to the mat. Goalpost the arms out to the side. We'll gently bend the left knee, reaching the left toes around to the right elbow. With elbows firmly planted down on the ground, we might choose to rotate the chest as well to get a big stretch on the right shoulder. Wherever you are, just breathe here. Every inhale, squeezing and lifting the left knee a little higher. Every exhale, softening into the twist. Elbows firmly rooted, deep breaths. Slowly beginning to unwind. Bring the hips back down to the ground. Recenter yourself if you've traveled. And then slowly begin to press up. Taking the left hand under the right, bending the right knee, and then twisting open here. Taking the left leg straight, right knee bent, both arms open, whatever shape is comfortable. Heart reaching up to the ceiling, shining upward as you really open and drop the shoulders. Very slowly beginning to unwind here. Just draw the hands underneath us, recenter on our mat, and press back into child's pose once more. I encourage you to take a really active child's pose. Maybe knees are together, and then reach the arms so far forward that your elbows come off the ground. Shoulders stay retracted back, but the arms are like cables, stretching and reaching forward. You might even lift the wrists and take a little hand stretch here, imagining that there's tennis balls under the heels of your hand. Beginning to work into our very first downward dog, drop the heels of your hands. Gently tuck the toes and begin to press the hips up. Feel free to pedal or walk out the lower body and feet. Any swivels are welcome. We're going to keep the upper body strong and straight. So fingers spread wide, pointer finger or middle finger points forward. Shoulders retracted back. And we're going to keep the head between the biceps. So think ears between biceps. As the tailbone reaches up and back, a little engagement in the lower belly. And the heels never have to touch the ground, and it's okay to bend the knees, but still keep the energy in the heels stretching downwards. Give me a great calf stretch wherever you are. See if you can keep the hands and legs nearly straight, or choose one to keep straight. And we're going to start to walk the feet to the hands, taking little tippy toes as you get there, taking your time. And then coming to Ragdoll, with feet hip width apart, you can reach for opposite elbows. Gently dangle the head between the biceps, and with a bend in the knees, rock side to side. Take a stretch here. Soften through the low back. Feel free to stay or take a deeper bend in the knees for a shoulder stretch. Gently clasp the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers. Begin to move the fist up away from the back, squeezing the wrists and elbows together and straightening the arms however much feels comfortable. I really like to bend the knees and keep the chest on the thighs here for support. If you prefer to straighten, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, just focusing on hanging upside down. Head is still really heavy here. To release the arms safely, go ahead and bring the fist back down to the low back. And then release the arms down. Take a moment to hang upside down and sway once again, softening the shoulders. My hands always feel a bit tingly here as the blood rushes back in. We're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. So gentle bend in the knees, tailbone begins to point down. And we're going to strengthen and lengthen the spine from the bottom up. So you're going to notice the lumbar spine, our low back, beginning to stack. The rib cage starts to want to come vertical as the thoracic spine or middle back really starts to straighten. Then our cervical spine or the neck stands tall. Take a deep inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, sit down through heart center into your chair. Knees over toes, gaze at the top or a foot in front of your mat. Take a deep inhale as you reach the arms up tall. Exhale, twist through the obliques with the right hand reaching behind you. So in this pose, really think about belly button facing forward, but the heart wants to go sideways. Take a deep inhale, arms up. Come back center, exhale down through chair. Flow it up. Inhale, arms straight up. Exhale, left hand back, same concept. So belly button wants to stay forward, chest opens. Inhale, arms up, back to center. And exhale, forward fold. Your choice of arms in prayer or out to the side. Inhale, halfway lift. There's 3 of these today. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant the hands for plank. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Strengthen, warm up that hip a little bit. Right foot up, 3-legged dog. Keep the right toes to point down. Ears between the biceps. With the right toes pointed down, the hips are in line, not opened. Inhale, lift the heel an inch higher. Exhale, knee to nose. Rounding shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. Last time, inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, stepping it through in runner's lunge. Careful to step the foot in line with the hip, so your right femur is in line with the outside edge of the mat. Left knee down, low lunge. Take a moment to pause here. Your back toes can be tucked or untucked. We're just gonna focus on weighting the pelvis down. You can have 2 hands down or 1 hand down. I like to bring my right hand to my knee. Really keeping it in line, no wobbling forward or side. Just pressing the pelvis downward. Using your own body weight to let gravity help you stretch. Right hand down if it's not already. We're going to come into a side plank. So right foot moves to the back of your mat. Kickstand the left shin out to the side. Right arm up. Take a stretch here. Over the head, that right hand goes. Stretch through the right side body. Really focusing on this lengthening here. Try to keep the right bicep near the right ear. So you're really opening the shoulders. Long neck. If you prefer to take more of a strengthening action, you're welcome to lift the right foot. Maybe reach the right arm up for a little extra energy. And if you'd like to take Chapasana, it simply means that you try to reach for the foot. Wherever you are, stay strong. Choose with your body and mind. We're going to come back into our low lunge. So hands move down to the ground. Step the right foot forward as the left shin comes back in line with your mat. Half split. Kneel over your back leg. Maybe scoot the right foot forward. So now this right leg is long. We're kneeling on the back leg. And we can just begin to fold forward. If you can't quite reach the ground, feel free to reach for any props or even furniture to have the correct depth. To take a deeper stretch, you're going to take your hands to the outside of your leg, really focusing on knee and chest, wanting to become closer together with every exhale. Transitioning to lizard pose, we're going to frame the front leg. Gently step on the front foot back to low lunge. Simply turn out the right toes. And then you want to keep the heart pointed downward. So if this is where we're at today, this is where it feels comfortable to open up that front hip, that's great. If you want to sink a little lower, that's fine. Just make sure that the belly button and the heart still face downward and they're not twisted to the side. The same alignment happens in the low back leg. So the left kneecap should be firmly planted down, not rolling to the outside. Big hip stretch here. Props under the elbows or under the hands are a great option. Wherever you are, just breathe. Beginning to press the hands down if they're not already. Preparing for lizard. So this right knee is already turned out, which is fine. So you can keep the right knee in the same place, but we're going to start to heel toe the foot over and lay the shin down. So my knee didn't travel in or out very much. It just went down, and my foot is now laying across my mat with my shin at an angle. The closer your shin is to the top of your mat, as far as being parallel, the bigger stretch this pose is going to be for pigeon. Here in pigeon, we want the hips to be equally weighted down, so not sitting into the right, but placing a pillow or a prop under the right foot, right hip, is a great way to stay supported. You can stay upright, or you might begin to just relax down. Similar to Ragdoll or even Child's Pose, you could extend the arms as well. Keep the long back leg straight, so try not to hook the back toes. And just soften into this big lower back and hip stretch. You're very welcome to stay in whatever form of pigeon you're in. If you'd like to take a little quad stretch with this, we're simply going to come onto the hands. We're going to bend the back leg. We're going to take the right hand reaching for the left foot. Now, if you're familiar with mermaid, we actually go left arm to left foot. But for a really safe quad stretch, I prefer to reach the right arm around because it keeps the knee in better alignment for all levels. You can either reach for the foot or the ankle, it's totally your choice. You're going to notice that there's a little bit of a shoulder opener here. It's trying to press the left hand down to the floor to really sit up. Gently beginning to release, we're going to tuck the back toes to press into your downward dog. Nice and gentle, pedal those feet. Working that right leg straight. It's been bent for an awful long time. Just stretch it out here. Low flow, take a deep inhale for plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, down dog. Left foot up, three-legged dog. Dial the left toes down to keep the hips in line. Ears stay between the biceps in three-legged dog. Take a little inhale, lift the heel an inch more. Exhale, knee to nose. Round the shoulders forward over the wrists. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, knee to nose. This time stepping it through for runner's lunge. Press and step the left foot to stay in line with the hip, so the left femur is parallel to the outside edge of the mat. Low lunge, begin to drop the right knee, tuck or untuck the back toes, and just get heavy with the pelvis. Just like the right side, on this left side, we can keep both hands down, or I might take just one hand down, feeling free to access any props. Now moving to the left side, you might notice some differences, and that's perfectly okay. We are not built symmetrically. The way our organs are positioned in our body, the way we interact with the world with dominant and non-dominant hands and sides, really affects our flexibility and mobility right to left. So be gentle with yourself and really make the accommodations that this side needs to stretch well. We obviously want to be even, that is the goal, but it's okay to be gentler with one side as it tries to catch up with the other. My left side is always tighter than the right. Beginning to transition to our half split, we're simply going to straighten the left leg, kneeling over the back leg. You might need to scoot the heel forward just to make sure the hips stay in line. We're not sitting too far back. Slowly beginning to melt the chest towards the knee. Take this big hamstring stretch. For added intensity, you might just take the hands to the outside edge, but once again, you're welcome to use any props to lift the body. Just work in the depths that you need. Wherever you are, take deep breaths here. It's such a big hamstring stretch, but so beneficial. Gently begin to frame the front foot, preparing for that side plank. So we're going to step the left foot to the back of our mat, kickstand the right shin out to the side, and then lift the left arm up. From here, let's drop the left hand over and take a big stretch, keeping the left elbow over the left ear and really finding length from fingertips to toes. Now if you want to opt for a more strength-filled side plank, you can go ahead and lift the left foot and lift the hand. The next alternative to this is Tripadasana, reaching around for the foot or ankle to take an additional challenge. Wherever you are, stay strong in your decision and what your body needs today on this side. Beginning to release, moving back to low lunge. So hands are going to come back down. We're going to move the right shin to come back onto the mat. Left foot moves forward into our low lunge. Preparing for lizard, let's take the left toes out to the side. Keep the belly button and the heart facing the mat, and then choose where you need to be for depth here. Keep the right kneecap firmly pointed downward. And just open into this left hip stretch, nice and gently, really taking care of our left side here. Beginning to work towards pigeon. Let's bring the hands down, keeping the knee turned out and in this general space towards the left side of our mat. we're gonna walk or just sweep the foot underneath the body. So it points at the right side of our mat. Depending on the angle of your knees, stay safe in your joints. The more parallel your shin is to the top of your mat, the deeper this is. But it's not only deeper, but sometimes not appropriate for everyone's body type. My hips cannot accommodate that no matter how much I practice. So find where you need to be. We're gonna keep a nice long back leg. You might stay up and lifted, or begin to drop down. Wherever you are on this side, allow your body to get heavy, really surrendering and softening in the low back and hip. Deep breaths here. As we stay, you might notice that you want to do different things with the arms. You're more than welcome. Elbows down, hands on head and head on hands. We're taking the arms outstretched, whatever you choose. Make sure you're choosing it with a goal of having ultimate heaviness and softness in the body. You're very welcome to stay here in whatever pigeon you're in. You can lift the chest and begin to work into a quad stretch, bending the right knee, taking the left hand to reach for the foot or ankle. Really adjusting this right hand so it can be a strong support for you, pressing the body up. Beginning to release the back leg, both hands down, working into our down dog. Beginning to pedal the feet. Just soften that left leg into a straighter position. It's been bent for so long. Walk it out. Move in ways that you need. We're going to come into our low flow. Big inhale for plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower and hold. Gently take the hands a little wider so the elbows are like right angles. Take cobra here, deep inhale. Drop just the right shoulder on the exhale, twisting through the upper body. Inhale, lift into that wide arm cobra. And then exhale, drop the left shoulder. Keeping the elbow in line with the wrist really encourages the stretch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right shoulder dips. Feel free to adjust this movement to be safe and comfortable for you. Just twisting through the shoulders. Inhale is up. Exhale is dip. Let's do one more round each side. Inhale up. And exhale, dip. Inhale up. And exhale, dip. Inhale up, lower with control. Begin to move the hands and walk yourself into a kneeling position. We're going to come through camel pose, and you can either be reaching for the floor, the heels, or if you'd like to take any sort of lifted prop that's stable behind you. So for example, if you have just a box or anything that can help you achieve this, that's a great option. I'm simply using a little file folder box. So if you have something nearby that's hard and firm and strong that you might want to place behind you if you're new to camel, it's a great option. Feel free to pause the video and go find something, or if you know camel and feel comfortable in it, no props necessary. From here, in our kneeling pose, we're going to be close to our prop or the back of the mat. We're going to begin to lift into a high kneeling position. Now toes can be tucked or untucked in camel. I prefer them tucked, so feel free to try both ways. We're going to take the hands to the low back, and we're going to begin to sit really tall, really engaging the pelvis to be vertical. And we're going to lift the lower belly and try to lengthen the waist up. From here, I'm going to get so long in the torso that the chest also begins to lift up. Careful to keep the head in line. I'll try not to look at the camera, but it's hard. And squeeze the elbows behind. Feel free to stay here. You can always begin to reach for your block or prop. Maybe just taking one hand to it. And maybe switching to the other side. Prop behind the feet or between the feet is a great option. If you feel comfortable, you can always drop your hands down to your heels and then really lift up, squeezing the shoulders together. Once again, if you just want to keep the hands to the low back, that's perfectly okay. Really trying to find buoyancy here in the chest. So imagine a big helium balloon in the rib cage, lifting the chest up. We're going to come out very gently the way we came in. Hands move to the low back. Untuck the toes and gently sit down, preparing for rabbit pose. We're going to take the hands down to the mat, top of the head to the mat, just like where you would put a hat on, so the crown of the head is down. Tuck the chin, then begin to lift the hips, reaching for the heels. So the weight is not just in the head, it's also in the feet, shins, and knees. Really pointing the toes, so you have a nice flat space for your weight to be in on your legs. You need to adjust where your head is on the ground, so it's supported by the top and flattest part of your head. That's a good idea. You don't want to be tucked under on your forehead or too far to the back of your head where a ponytail might be. Hands are reaching for the ankles like cables, so try to straighten those arms, so adjust your head as needed. This is a very safe pose despite being a small inversion. Find your spot and just breathe. The idea of straight arms really wants to separate the shoulder blades, stretching through the upper back. We'll lower gently, lowering the heels, hands under the shoulders, and lift the head. Staff pose. Go ahead and take the feet in front of you for a big forward fold. Maybe scooting to the top of your mat if you've traveled a lot like me. We're going to firmly point the sits bones down to the ground. Take a deep inhale, arms up. Then exhale, folding forward. Wherever your hands reach, you just gently encourage the chest towards the knees. Nice long back here. It's okay to drop the head and still have a long back. You can have both. Imagine the upper body draping over the lower body. Gently begin to sit up, ever so gently. Moving into our Cobblers Pose. So soles the feet together, gently hold on to the ankles, press the elbows into the knees, and lean the chest forward. So we're going to take a really straight-backed Cobblers Pose. Instead of drawing the crown of the head down, let's keep it lifted. Just focus on a nice straight back, really manually pressing the knees downward. We're going to take our Pilates roll down to lay in this Cobbler's Pose. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. Straighten your legs, but challenge yourself if you can and are able with your hips. You might scoot your cobblers a little smaller and then tuck the pelvis under. Reaching the arms forward, see if you can roll down one vertebrae at a time with the knees pressing out. It needs quite a lot of hip strength to do so. Keep the feet on the ground. Really use the energy of your hands to let you down slowly. Take a big stretch up with the arms when you're ready. And then child's pose, knees together. Draw knees to chest. Reach for the outer edges of your feet and then lift the heels over the knees. Gently pull downward like you're doing a big squat on the ceiling. We're nearing the end of class. If you need any other poses besides child's pose, you're just craving something else, please go for it. Otherwise, we're going to start to work into our final resting pose. Traditionally, it's legs straight, heels about mat width apart, but with all this hip work today, I'm going to soften my hips by bending my legs, feet to the outside edge of the mat, and drop the knees in. Hands might be on the floor or to the belly. We're going to close the eyes, noticing the weightedness of the pelvis as our sacrum, the flat part in the back of our pelvis, roots heavily downward. With every exhale, soften through the low back. Let any tension or aches just melt away. Notice the heaviness of the rib cage as it imprints downward, even the smallest ribs towards your waist. Notice how they become a little heavier, how the shoulder blades are far apart and making contact with the floor. Feel the weight of the rib cage press the shoulder blades down, and then feel the tips of the shoulders also root downward, a little heavier, as the collarbones get a little wider. Neck and jaw unclenched, and all the muscles in the body begin to soften, leading the mind to a similar softness of meditation. We can give ourselves permission to be still, to be calm, to be centered, treating our Shavasana just as we would any other pose, with focus, sometimes challenge, but goodness, calmness, along with low, slow breaths that focus us here. I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana as long as you'd like. Feel free to click off the video and just remain here. If you'd like to end class sitting, don't open the eyes. Just simply roll to one side. I challenge you to keep the eyes closed throughout this. So we roll to a fetal position. Body is heavy. Noticing the softness in your hips as the knees are bent up. The roundness of your shoulders, the looseness of the neck. Safe here in our bodies. Relaxed and at ease. Comfortable where we're at in our journey, both in yoga and in our life, as we pass through different situations and scenarios. When we return to our mat, we find a sense of safety and security, even as our body changes. Goals can still drive us home here, to draw further inward, calmness and clarity. Very slowly, we'll press the hands down into the mat and press up to a seated position. Legs fold, whatever seated position is comfortable. Spine growing tall, shoulders down, knees relaxed open. Let's take a deep inhale, sweep the arms out and up, touching palms overhead and exhaling down through heart center. Gently beginning to bow forward, carrying our intention that we set at the beginning of class with us through the rest of our day. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining with me today and practicing. Have an awesome one, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.